What mic is that?
Wait, what mic are you using?
Which mic do you use?
Hey, what mic is that?
What mic
are you
using?
using?
What mic do you
mic
use?
Is that?
What
What
mic
mic
did
are
you
you
use?
using?
What's your mic? I need it in my life.
It's a Shure SM7B. It's in every single video that I've ever made. It's right at the end credits. Okay, this is cheating. I said I was gonna take questions from Twitter. Maybe things are a little bit better over there.
Are you BulletBarry's brother?
Hey Barry,
Yeah?
are you shit posting again?
No?
Are you fucking shit posting again?
Dev?
What did I tell you about shit posting from
didn't
across the
do it.
country?
No,
Stop that shit posting! Welcome to the first of many Q&A sessions with you guys that I am calling AskDeV. It is more than overdue for us to talk and figure out more about each other, and you guys absolutely blew up the hashtag AskDeV on Twitter with more questions than I was honestly expecting, so really the best thing that I can do is just dive in and let's get started. First off, we have @DavidCrazyDriv2 who asked, what are your tips on starting YouTube? By the way, you are my inspiration. It's only been a year and I can't believe somebody has already said that. Like, that's incredible. I didn't think anybody would look up to me like that. Everyone on this website will tell you the same exact thing. Just do it already. And I tend to agree with that, but that's not what I did. I'm gonna take a page from Linus's book and recommend that you do as I say and not as I do. But without sounding too conceited, my first video took over a year to get everything together. Let me clear that up a bit. Actually, writing the video only took about 3-hour-long sessions of Political Science 110, sitting in the back row, bored out of my mind with my MacBook in front of me. The GoPro Hero 4 Black, though, that I filmed it on was a hand-me-down from my aunt and uncle just a month or two before that. The light boxes, tripod, and fluid head were all purchases that I made when I did some real estate media as a summer job the year before. My subscription to Adobe Creative Cloud for Premiere Pro was made possible 2 years ago thanks to a substantial discount that being a college student gives you, and even before all of that, learning video editing took a decade of renewing free trials of Adobe Creative Suite and dicking around in After Effects, watching tutorials from Video Copilot in junior high, and making little best moment compilations of my friends and I messing around in TeamSpeak and Axon.
Noah is.
What the heck?
Noah just shot a grenade out of the air.
And don't even get me started on my childhood with Windows Movie Maker.
Ooh, title at the beginning. Ooh, I'm gonna type awesome video. Oh yeah. Oh, that's gonna be awesome. Ooh, that looks cool. Yeah.
This seems like a lot of backstory for a video that to this day has only 30-something thousand views, but what I'm saying is that the fate of that video, and therefore the rest of the channel, turning out the way that it did, all hinged on all of that equipment, experience, and passion being available at that exact moment, which had been building up for years. When I felt I was ready, I pulled the trigger, wrote it, filmed it, and edited it whenever I had time. And please don't take this as if I'm saying that you have to wait until you have the most expensive equipment to get started, because that's not true at all. You know what I'm filming this on? I wish I had a mirror on me. My iPhone 7. You know what I filmed my 1.8 million view video on? A Galaxy S7 Edge. And you know what? No one noticed it until the end credits because hopefully they were distracted by the content and the message of the video instead. People like MKBHD will use cinema quality red cameras not because he needs to, but because 1, he can afford it, and 2, it's just fucking dope, just like he says. He has a genuine passion for making videos crispy as fuck, and not only does he now get to use stuff like that at work, but I bet he has an absolute blast while using it. Meanwhile, people like Shoe on Head have giant followings and make informative videos despite using a 480p webcam in 2017 just because she's too lazy to ask her dad to borrow his camera.
I've got 3 brand new cameras. They're all Panasonic and they're all capable of doing 4K. And I'm not really interested in
sharing any of them with my girlfriend.
That's a Ralph the Movie Maker joke that I have no part in. And acknowledging a stolen joke like that is a Mr. Regular joke. If I name drop any more YouTubers, I'm gonna have to rename my channel to Butterfingers. The point that I'm trying to make is that the only thing stopping you from doing anything, including making YouTube videos, is yourself. But you should never, ever pressure yourself into doing anything just to say that you did it and got it over with. Take your time, plan everything out, and when the time comes,
just act.
And that leads perfectly into the next question from @DiversityFlame, who asks, what exactly did you do to get so big with such a small amount of videos? To be honest, it all started out pretty normal. I watched that first video stats and was more concerned about the likes and the dislikes more than the views, only because for a few days, it didn't have a single dislike. Then I got one and it was right back to view counting, and it got a few thousand views in a couple weeks. After that video, I was bored at work and drafted up this list in my notes app of possible video ideas. When I got around a dozen or so, I cut like 3 from the list and pasted it into a list called actually good video ideas. You can actually see it in the beginning of the laptop video. That's not staged, it's actually how it went. I was working extra hours in my job where it was completely dead, and the only thing really on my mind was the upcoming school semester. And at the time, I had a friend of mine messaging me about what kind of laptop he should get for gaming, but it had to be one that he could take to class. I'd been asked this so many times by different people that the only thing running around my head was,
just fucking Google it, dumb bitch.
And that's when it hit me. Wow, I'm an asshole. And then it also hit me that 1, they actually are smart enough to have probably already searched this and not found anything straightforward enough to tell them that, hey, this is a terrible idea. And 2, it's June, and next month there's gonna be a ton of upcoming freshmen wondering the same exact thing. That was it. The timing was key. I finished and uploaded the video on gaming laptops for college on August 2nd, right when people were gonna start searching for advice on what they should get. And while I half expected it to work, I didn't think it would work that well. I uploaded the video and 2 or 3 days go by. It's doing a little bit better than the first, grabbing a few thousand views or so. Then one night when I'm out playing basketball on campus with a group of friends, and I go to pick up my phone as we're getting ready to leave, my lock screen was filled with comment notifications. Yeah, that part at the end of the video where I say, I still get notifications on my phone for each and every one, is true, even to this day. Of course, the view count is a little delayed, so it didn't change too much, but I knew something was up. But the next morning I checked my Reddit front page on my phone, as I normally do, and sure enough, my thumbnail is staring me in the face at the top of PCMR.
So about a week ago, I made a video on YouTube, and it just hit 10,000 views. And then not even a week later, without me even knowing, it got stickied to one of the biggest subreddits on Reddit, PC Master Race. This is seriously one of the coolest things that has ever happened to me.
The views spiked a few 100,000 every day from that point on. The mods of PCMR sticky the thread to the top of the subreddit for the entire day and the next day, and then it goes away. And then it comes back for one final day. The Reddit thread all in all got the video up to about 400,000 views, and from there, YouTube's algorithm is what really kicked it into high gear. I don't know what I did to please it, but it started showing up in just about anyone who had interest in PC gaming's recommended bar. There's so many comments on that video that are questioning YouTube as to how they knew they were going to be looking at a laptop right then and there. I had people on Steam that I've been friends with for years that, keep in mind, have never seen my face, message me and say that they saw my video in their recommended and thought the name and the voice sounded familiar. My boss saw it, my parents saw it, it's crazy. What did I do with all those new subscribers? I made them wait 2 months for a video about home phones. Yeah, not my not my most entertaining video, but hey, I thought it was useful. If I didn't make it clear enough in my last answer, timing is key. I got extremely lucky with someone randomly posting it to Reddit and the algorithm taking over, but if I didn't pace myself to take the time with that video and get it just the way that I wanted to in the time before the fall semester, I bet it would have been a completely different story. @IncredibleMango asked, I noticed that you have both an iPhone 7 Plus and a Pixel XL. Why both? So you can better understand both platforms? Yes, that is exactly why. why? The answer to which I think is better is a whole lot more complicated than that, because we've reached a point where both platforms are so similar that it's foolish to call one of them better than the other. I genuinely don't think that one of them is inherently better than the other. It's a topic for another video, but the reason that I have both is to stay unbiased between the two. When a future video comes where I need to make strengths and weaknesses of one of these sides, too many people are quick to call out that I will favor one of the platforms because it's the one that I chose. I mean, I'm guilty of thinking this myself, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. If I see somebody raving about how great their iPhone 7 Plus is, it's easy to assume that it's because they just walked out of the Apple Store last week with it and have been rubbing it in everybody's faces since then, when in reality they've been able to give it anywhere from a few weeks to a few months of testing and feel genuinely impressed by the product. What better way to dismiss fanboy accusations than to show that they're very familiar with and have also invested in the strongest competition? Again, I have a lot more to say on this, but if I don't move on now, we'll be here for another hour. Jesus, it's only been how many minutes and I've only answered like 3 questions? Okay, we're gonna do a combo question and then a lightning round, and then I've got a question for you, so stick around for it, okay? All right, all these questions are pretty similar, so I'm gonna combine them into one big one, and that's what equipment do you use and how do you afford all of it? My current rig right now is running an Intel Core i7 6800K, a GTX 1080, and 16 gigabytes of RAM. I have 3 storage drives, one of them being a 512 gigabyte Samsung 960 Pro that I use for Windows 10, which is friggin' fast. The next one is my previous main drive, which is a 256 gigabyte Samsung 850 Pro, which now hosts a copy of macOS Sierra for a Hackintosh. Hint, hint, future video, maybe. And the final one being the newest edition, which is a 1 terabyte G Technology G drive. Wow, guys. Great name. It's a portable USB-C hard drive that I picked up because I learned pretty friggin' fast that Cineform, which is a codec that I use to edit my videos now, gets real big real fast. 4K Cineform files go from anywhere between 200 and 300 gigabytes an hour. So my last video took up a whopping 250 gigabytes of space, and that fills up an SSD pretty quick. So here's the thing, I don't really like setup tours because I feel like it's just showing off what I have, and I feel a little bit too humble to do that. I know I kind of just did that with a computer, but if you really want to know what equipment that I use, then here's everything that I have in no particular order. The mouse is a Logitech G502, the keyboard is a Corsair K70 RGB.
Psych, it's a brand new... Shit. It's a brand new Black Widow V2 because macOS 10 doesn't like Corsair keyboards. Oh, and it has custom keycaps too.
What? It's just an ordinary... Oh my goodness!
The monitor is an Asus ROG Swift 1440p 144Hz G-Sync monitor. The advantage that I get in CSGO with that thing is nutty. The headphones that I use are Sennheiser HD 650s that run through a Yamaha MG10XU that leads to a shit Magni to amplify it. I call the 3 of those items the Tidal Triforce. Alright, now this is where I start to cut corners a bit, but hopefully, if I do my job right, you won't notice a thing. All of my videos are recorded with my flavor of the month smartphone. So for the college laptop video and the home phone videos, I used a Galaxy S7 Edge. For the TCL TV review, I used a Google Pixel XL, and for the BulletBarry video and this one that you're watching right now, I'm using an iPhone 7 Plus, but with a bit of a twist. On those previous phones, I would always use the stock camera app, usually with some remote control software like Samsung SideSync or Clockwork Mod's Visor. It's why in some older videos you'll see me look to the side at the end of a shot, since I would have the script on one side and the screen recording me on the other. That would let me adjust the focus and exposure while I'm at my desk instead of getting up every single time or just plain out guessing. Since I started using my iPhone 7, I obviously lost the ability to do that, and since then I found an app called Filmic Pro that I've absolutely fallen in love with. The app alone could deserve its own video, especially with all the extensions, features, and accessories it supports, but here's a quick rundown of why I fell in love with it. Every stock camera app will give you a focus and exposure control by default, but even then they usually only let you manually adjust the exposure and not the focus without just tapping on the screen. Filmic Pro steps in on the iPhone to add manual controls for both of these, plus way more. I'm talking adjustable white balance, zebra striping, false color, focus peaking, noise reduction, log, zoom pulls, focus pulls, bitrate adjustments, presets, naming system, stabilization, control toggling, audio codecs, and that doesn't even touch all of its peripheral support with devices like the DJI Osmo, sliders, lenses, and more. The app is 10 friggin' holy. I just want to say I did that all in one take. That was the first take. Sorry. The app itself is $10, which is pretty expensive for an app, and has even more unlockable extras for another $10 on top. Is $20 a lot to ask for an iPhone app? Of course. But is it absolutely worth it for a powerful tool like this? Hell yes. I would buy it again in a heartbeat. Okay, I need to calm down. Future video, I swear I have a bunch of ideas running through my head. There's a lot more coming down, promise. I also use a Manfrotto tripod with a 502 HD fluid head on top for silky smooth pans, and I used to use this $50 slider, but I have never once been pleased with a shot that I've gotten while using it. It's so bumpy and it gets stuck so often that I just had to quit using it altogether. Instead, if I need a moving shot, I just started using the DJI Osmo Mobile for a smooth tracking shot in a pinch. I'm still learning it, so bear with me if you see some awkward B-roll in some upcoming videos, but I want to get better at that. So how do I afford all that? All right, here's your inspiration for the week. I make minimum wage. I work anywhere from 20 to 40 hours a week, depending on the time of year, in sales for a retail store. Sometimes there's commission, but trust me, it's not as much as you're probably thinking. At the same time, I'm taking anywhere from 12 to 15 credit hours of classes at a community college that I actually just graduated from, and I am headed to university in fall. Ask me at any point throughout the day what's on my mind, and the answer is simply how the hell I'm going to pay for the next 2 years. I mean, I could be doing a lot worse for myself if I was going into something like a medical field, but even with my journalism major, I'm looking at around 25 grand out of pocket over the next 2 years. Do you know how scary that is? Oh, wait, you probably do. I like to think that I'm doing well on YouTube, but don't think that I'm rolling in YouTube money or anything like that. For a little perspective, both the Oculus review and the college laptop video with a bunch of views are not monetized. I mean, the laptop one kind of is, just not by me. The Ren and Stimpy song that I used in the intro skit got DMCA'd, and from the get-go, all of that revenue, all 2 million views of that revenue, has gone to the studio that claimed it. Not me. I never countered it because this was around the time of the whole DMCA meltdown YouTube was having last year, and I'm willing to bet that my use of the song wasn't transformative enough to consider it fair use. Those instrumentals from 21 Pilots, though, just flew right under the radar. Nobody even noticed. YouTube still hasn't picked that up. I also keep the Oculus review unmonetized on purpose to remind myself why I started this channel in the first place. Just out of a passion to experience something myself and tell others my story about it. If you really want to know what I make, on YouTube at least, Social Blade and vidIQ's estimate is way off because they're counting the laptop video. So just keep in mind that I'm at the lower end of the given range. Really, the way I afforded everything here was just by saving up for long periods of time and making good informed choices. Just by reading and watching reviews from people on Amazon and YouTube, I've been able to save up for products that I know are going to be good and not waste my money on cheap knockoffs that would just delay my inevitable purchase of the real thing. I liked it so much that I wanted to try my hand and see if I could spread it to my own audience with a few twists here and there. When you see a product in a video that I made, you should know that I bought it. I actually bought that Oculus Rift. I actually bought that Chromebook. I actually bought the TV that I reviewed last year and that I use to this very day. By using my own money to purchase these products, I'm putting myself in the shoes of the people that I may or may not recommend it to, and it takes the intimidation of the manufacturer out of the review. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. Of course, as I grow, the need to actually purchase every single product that I review will eventually diminish, either out of reputation or sheer requirement, as if I can't afford something and the only way that I could review it is if the company provided it. The only exception to this, if you want to call it that, was the recent BulletBarry review, in which for the first time ever, I actually messaged the company about a possible review unit for a video that I was interested in making. Being a smaller company, they explained that they've been scammed in the past, which I honestly believe, and that while they couldn't offer a review unit, they'd happily reimburse the cost of the product itself upon seeing a video uploaded. It creates sort of like an ethical dilemma, where I don't want to be afraid to say anything bad about the product, and an even bigger one where I actually enjoy the product and felt I got my money's worth. And to this day, I haven't decided if I'm going to follow up on it, and I'm kind of leaning against it, though I still treated it as a review copy both in the video and the description to test the waters. To wrap up this question, just know that I'm an honest guy. I won't let anyone but myself persuade reviews and aim to give you the most honest opinion that I can. When I monetize a video, it's literally paying my tuition to learn more about my field and make better videos for you guys. For those of you that watch ads or pay for Red, thank you. And for those of you that use an ad blocker, I can't give you shit. I use one too. Okay, let's speed this up a bit, and then I have a question that I want to ask all of you before I go, so please stick around. At Kaji here asked, favorite Rubin Report interview. How did you know I watched the Rubin Report, huh? I don't think I've ever mentioned that anywhere, so way to read my mind. Honestly, I really like the one that he did with Sky Williams. It's been a while since I'd watched something from either of them, and the interview was just really interesting to hear about both of their backgrounds. I would wholeheartedly recommend it to anyone who's interested in what either of those guys do. At David Subiton asked, what's your stance on Scorpio? Honestly, I think it looks great. It puts pressure on Sony to compete with them and advance the game console space, which is always great. And hopefully that means PC gamers will reap benefits from the added power to both consoles, so features won't have to be scaled back in an effort to keep the PC release from overshadowing a console version of the game. Microsoft is showing some serious drive, innovating as much as they did with the actual silicon itself, so I'm actually pretty excited for it. Am I gonna pick one up? Probably not, but still, it's exciting. You can be a PC gamer and still like get excited for consoles like that. It means a lot as a PC gamer for that to actually be happening. So look at the bright side, guys. Don't fanboy over it. It's ridiculous. Nebu asked, what is Team Axon anyways? Also, love your content. Aw. You. So earlier I mentioned that I used to play games with my friends over the internet and make little video montages of them, and to do that we used two programs. One was TeamSpeak, which I'm sure everyone is familiar with, and the other program was called Dolby Axon. Remember, this is 5 or 6 years ago, before Discord was ever even a glimmer in the creator's eye. Dolby Axon was a chat program that was free to use and host servers on for both group voice and text chat, with a little twist. On the program there was a little map that would let you move your icon around and aim where you were speaking, simulating a surround sound experience where it actually felt like you were in the room with whoever you were talking to. Some games could even plug into Axon's API to control all of that for you, similar to the way that games like Arma and Gmod Dark RP will make your voice sound like it's actually coming from somewhere in the level that you're playing. The point is, it was a killer voice chat app, and we eventually moved to TeamSpeak because, number one, your boy got a job and could afford to buy a server for better voice quality and more slots, and then also Dolby Axon was pretty much dead in the water. To this day, it actually closed down, I think, last year, if I'm not mistaken. So ever since then, we've combined the names, and Team Axon just has been what we call ourselves. What does it have to do with YouTube? I don't know. It was mainly just a way to brand the channel. I throw it in there right now because if I ever need help voice acting or pitching ideas to see if they're interesting, hey, they're there. Hell, I've even thought about calling subscribers part of Team Axon, especially if we open up the Discord and make it public. Ask me again a few months from now. At Mr. Moon Penguin asked, are you going to stick to your one video every 2 month schedule, or are you planning on uploading more frequently? 2 months is just way too long, and I think we can all agree on that. As conceited as it sounds, I like to take what I call the JonTron or the AVGN approach. Damn it, I said I wouldn't name drop. Where the videos don't release very often, but when they do, they're a decent length and way better quality than they would be if they were forced and rushed out. I'm cool enough with myself to just acknowledge if there's just days where I'm not creative or funny, and if I hit a wall in terms of the script. I like to use the products that I cover in my daily lifestyle and not force myself to use a product that would rush me into giving an opinion on it, and when just a few days later I could notice something important that I missed in the review and kick myself for not including it. Plus, school and work interrupt the writing process more often than not, so it's not really just laziness, it's just a quality over quantity thing. Right now the goal is at least one video a month, so we'll see if I can stick to that for a little bit. At Killer Rain asked, what is your major and why? Journalism. I love what I do on YouTube so much that I want to go to a school to learn more, get better, and eventually make it a career. I'm not saying that I want to make a living on YouTube, but the program that I'm in is so closely related with what is all eventually going to be done over the internet anyways, that it could turn into just that. I just like informing people and helping them make educated choices, and all while researching stuff and finding things out for myself and coming to my own conclusions. That's basically it in a nutshell. At Bluxy asked, favorite Daft Punk album? Loaded question. That's a tough one. It's got to be between Discovery and Random Access Memories. Jesus, and even Alive 2007. Really, it just depends on my mood, since they're just such drastically different albums, but they're all so good. At Mattiasu asked, name of the cat? And also, I might have saw you on Teens React or something similar. Am I wrong? Yeah, I've never been on the Fine Brothers or anything like that. I am the only place that you could have possibly seen me is on YouTube. I've never been on TV or anything. And definitely not any other bigger YouTube channel. That's not, no. Sorry, no. Teens React, Jesus. It only took until the end of the video to get a question about the cat? Alright, I'm shocked. This is Lexus. We call her Lexi for short. And she's one of the 2 cats that we have. We've had her since she was a kitten almost a decade ago, and I absolutely love her to death. I'm an only child, so I've always been very close with my pets growing up, and she's no exception. And no, I don't plant her in my videos. If you know anything about cats, you know that when something in their environment changes, like studio lights, a new desk, or especially boxes or anything else, they're gonna go nuts. It was easier to let her do her thing than it was to kick her out, and I'm really, really glad that I let her stay. Okay, enough questions. My turn. I have a question for you guys before you go. By the way, thank you for sticking all the way through to the end of this video like that. The next video that I'm planning is very, very big. And what I mean by that is that if I put it all into one video, it's gonna be over a half hour. So would you prefer, and I think I know the answer to this, would you prefer one video that would be anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes, or a series of videos, all maybe like 10-15 minutes long, where they're part 1, part 2, part 3. I'm pretty sure you're gonna pick the one where it's all in one, which is probably the one that I would rather do anyways, because I don't like spamming videos like that. But just let me know. You can either answer the Twitter poll that I should have going right now at @RealAxonDev, or you can just tell me in the comments. Like I said earlier, I still get notifications on them. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one that hopefully should only be coming in about a month, not 2.